Hi, I'm Mr. D and welcome to another video recipe from the home of thermal cooking. This week I've adapted a recipe from the legendary Floyd, who sadly died in 2009. Floyd was, to my mind, one of the greatest TV cooks ever, and I always loved the way he cleverly mixed travel with cooking. The original recipe comes from his 2005 TV series Floyd's China, and is ideal for the thermal cooker, as it needs long, slow cooking to tenderise the beef. In the series, Floyd travelled all around China and found in the Sichuan province, situated in the southwest, a large number of beef dishes, including this one, Chinese beef and carrots. As usual, this recipe can be cooked in a conventional slow cooker, but remember, by using a thermal cooker, you will save up to 80% on fuel. So if you're ready to help cook my tribute to Floyd, let's get cooking. Right, the first thing to do is to turn the gas on. Just turn that down to medium. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of rapeseed oil. Just going to let that heat up, and next we add 2 cloves of garlic that have been finely chopped, 2 slices of ginger that have been peeled, and we're now going to add 5 spring onions that we've sliced. I've turned the heat down a little bit to stop the garlic burning. Now I'm going to add 750 grams of stewing beef. This I've cut up into small 1 centimetre cubes. What I'm trying to do now is just let this brown a little bit. So just turn the heat up, just a fraction. Okay, I'll just give it 1 stir before adding the soy sauce. You can see how much liquids come out of this beef. This is all going to add to the flavour of the stew. My next thing is to add 40 millilitres of dark soy sauce. You may want to just measure it out. I've gauged it because that was a new bottle. I've gauged how much from the new bottle. And now we give that a stir to get the flavours in there. Now I need to give it 1 tablespoon of soft brown sugar. So 1 tablespoon of soft brown sugar. And we need 3 tablespoons of Chinese rice wine. Give that a stir. I now need 1 teaspoon of Chinese 5 spice. I'm now going to add 1 beef stock pot and stir that in. It's just to add a little bit more flavour, it's beef flavour, because we're going to add a lot of water in a minute. Next we're going to add 450 grams of carrots that have been cut into batons. And finally I'm going to add some water, just enough to cover all of that. So I'm going to actually serve this with the rice that I'm going to do in the top pot. So pop the top on and put this on the back ring. As usual, I'm going to use the 2 gases here, but if you're aware and you only have one, then at this stage I would let the main stew come to the boil, simmer it for 5 minutes, put it in the outer container and shut the lid while I prepare the rice in the top pot. So with the rice, I'm going to do 1.5 cups of rice. And to that I'm going to add 3 cups of water. Now I need that to come to the boil. Just give it a little stir. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt to that. The stew has now come to the boil, so I'm going to turn that down to a simmer and just give it a bit of a stir. If you wanted to thicken the stew, just before serving, you could add something like arrowroot, or what I tend to use is potato flour. Mix it with a bit of water and then just pour it in and give it a stir around. That will thicken it if you feel it's become too thin. See that the rice has almost come to the boil here. I'll just give it a little bit of a stir. Make sure it's not sticking on the bottom at all, which it isn't. And once it's on the boil, then I'm just going to let it boil for just 1 minute before putting it on the inner pot. And here it is, it's now come to the boil. Just give it 1 minute. So there's 1 minute up. So I'll move this to one side. Just be a little careful because the handles get very hot. Bring this forward and bring to turn off the back. Take this lid because we won't need this lid. And I'm going to place this there. Hold down the handles, put that on there. Okay, now it's ready to go in the outer container, and in it goes.